Save me, Lord, from evildoers. Keep me safe from violent people. They are always plotting evil, always dividing us in quarrels. Their tongues are like deadly snakes, their words like a cobra's poison. Protect me, Lord, from the power of the wicked. Keep me safe from violent people who plot my downfall. The mad have set a trap for me. They have laid their snares, and along the path they have set traps to catch me. Selah. I say to the Lord, you are my God. Hear my cry for help. Save me, Lord, from evildoers. Keep me safe from violent people. My sovereign Lord, my strong defender, you have protected me in battle. Lord, don't give the wicked what they want. Don't let their plots succeed. Don't let my enemies be victorious. Make their threats against me fall back on them. Red-hot coals fall on them. May they be thrown into a pit and never get out. May those who accuse others falsely not succeed. May evil overtake violent people and destroy them. Lord, I know you defend the cause of the poor and the rights of the needy. The righteous will praise you indeed. They will live in your presence. Save me, Lord, from evildoers. Keep me safe from violent people.
Yes. Okay. Greetings in the name of the Most High. Here we are. Beautiful morning. You've got the fire. You need the fire now. Cool mornings, cool evenings. So we have the fire, and at the same time, you're hearing in the background the little waterfall that comes out of the rocks. Who said you can't get water from a stone? So anyway, that's ringing. I guess the word I had about the vision I had about the whole Trump slaying the evil was almost like an image like Michael, slaying Satan or something. You know what I mean? It was like, or Michael slaying the dragon. It was that kind of thing, and it also had a metaphoric aspect that I talked about before when it happened, which was that it's the end of that Biden is basically what he represents or what represents him. The whole thing is basically dead, scrambling around for that was pretty much a death blow, but all of it was the work of the Lord. It was none of it was conscious on Trump's part. It was not conscious on I'm talking about the debate here. Not conscious on Biden's part. He didn't really know where he was. And I don't know who these people think they're trying to fool about, the way they talk about things, the way they frame things. And then, Trump having a, clarification on basically clarification on what is and what is not permissible for, where a president has immunity or not, is a clarification that affects all presidents. I don't really, it could be used right now by the Biden administration. If they're worried that Trump can go after enemies and have them killed, well, Biden could do the same thing if he wants. So there's, but that's not what the ruling was about. Again, lie. And I just wonder who they think they're talking to. But anyway, that endured well. That take on really was just about God's vengeance. And today is about the meek. And I have, you've heard about the meek, right? Well, the meek appear in the Old Testament and the New Testament. And the meek are, it's very simple to define them. The meek are not members of the club. They're not in the New World Order. They're not in the government-sponsored groups. They don't work in think tanks that serve the government's power over the people. They're not authoritarian. So by eliminating, by saying what they are not, also helps to define exactly what they are. The meek are people, it could be of any income strata, any race, any creed, anything, but the meek are, a lot of times I used to call them the lambs. The meek are the lambs. And lambs are seen as meek. Lambs, as in sacrificial lamb to the slaughter, as in the living sacrifice of coming to the earth that is ruled by the earth and many dimensions. I guess you could put it that way. Ruled by forces of darkness. You could say, have a little bite to eat for my energy. You could say, in this case, a wasabi pea. Yes. Well, that'll get me going. But in the end, it's the reason a person remains meek is because either A, he's had a great upbringing, a great mother and father, or B, he's seen the karmic implications and consequences of his actions and realizes there is a force in the universe that will not be disrespected, will not be, that man is not here for his simply for to seek his own private, selfish, narcissistic pleasures and powers, but that there are consequences to our actions, and especially interactions with other people. Are we the kind of people that must control others? Do we feel that we have to have some kind of hook in somebody else before we feel respected? Do we have to exercise the power of boss if we're a boss over other people? Does that have to interact does that have to take on a personal meaning? In other words, I'm the boss and you're the slave. So you not only at the job, you do what I tell you to do, but you do what I tell you to do in the parking lot. You do what I tell you to do for the fundraiser. You call who I tell you to call. You do what, right? So instead of a shared responsibility, they turn everything into a top-down hierarchy, which is what the New World Order is. Top-down hierarchy that never did work and never will work. Therefore, the meek inherit it all. When we say inherit the earth, you could look at it that way. And that's what we said. But in this case, earth is, the cosmic earth, meaning all things. And in fact, if man ultimately, human, made in the likeness of image of God, fearfully and wonderfully made, for the purpose of being the tabernacle of the Most High God, which already is the tabernacle of the Most High God. Despite this illusion that we are living in, despite this simulation that is so obvious, it's painful, right? And I mean, it's only to people that have, again, I kind of break people into a couple of categories. One is celestials, and the other are earth dwellers. I have two categories that I've noticed. And people fall kind of in the middle too. I mean, there's a spectrum. But the earth dwellers, rule the earth, would rule temporarily, rule something that they feel is solid like the earth. But the earth is not solid. In the end, the planets, the earth, the stars, the moons are irrelevant. Have nothing to do with reality whatsoever. So there is no destiny among the stars unless you want to say, well, the stars represent infinite potentiality and infinite possibility. And in that case, I would say, okay, I agree with you. Then the destiny of human is to expand, to include all dimensions, all things created and not created, all things. In other words, the meek, those of God, will inherit all things, which would also mean, and we've talked about this, the knowledge of good and evil, but the immortality that comes from transcending the good and evil paradigm that we are faced with the low dimensional reality of a third dimension, where most things that are happening in the spiritual realm are happening in 4, 5, 6, 7 higher dimensions and other dimensions. And there are other spectra. There's other colors, other lights, other frequencies, things that we don't know about because we can't measure in this particular configuration, which is a simulation. If it were not a simulation, it would just be what I would call raw consciousness, raw existence. Just everything is as it is. Nothing is illusory. Nothing is deceptive. And, the other thing that's illusory too is our memories. Something happened. We remember the room that we were in. We remember the place we were. And then oftentimes with me, some new information comes in that says, wait a second, I'm not remembering that right. I was so sure I was right. But there was something else going on. And indeed, what's going on according to these people, please bear with me. I'm just having to have a few calories to keep going here. Yeah, no, with my condition, I, have to sort of keep the blood sugar. It's really quite tentative, and I just want to go forward as much as I can, and then, let the chips fall where they may. That's kind of where I'm at. I don't want to really I don't really worry about anything because everything is as it should be. Even right now, everything is as it should be. So, the idea that people come and go should not be any concern of ours. They come, they go. So while we're here, we try to do the best we can. The only thing that kind of gets us gets me, it slows me down, is having anemia and nausea at the same time. It's hard to get in gear when you have, it's like a depression that's not mental, but it's just over your body. And I'm addressing it with homeopathy and I'm not going to digress right now. I want to keep going with this thread because the meek inherit it all. It's very important to understand that, so to translate, okay, the people of God, the people of, the God, meaning all encompassing, no separation, complete totality of reality, God, right? Totality of consciousness, totality of reality, totality of experience, totality of existence, the meek. Understand this and understand the greatness of this, the hugeness of all this. And so they tend to, just like when they think, oh, I can't beat the Satanist on top of the surface of the earth, I better join him. If I can't beat him, join him. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to be a fool and throw my life away, which is exactly what they end up doing. But fortunately, the Lord knows that you're short-sighted, that we are short-sighted. He knows there are allowances for that. It's called repentance. You can always change the course you're on. You don't have to ride it all the way. I know there's like old men, like my, usually when you have families that have been sold out to the devil for a long time, generations, they keep this secret to the grave, right? Because it's a secret. Nobody is going to tell you that they're a Satanist or they've done this or done that or done satanic spells or, they're not going to tell you any of that stuff. They're just going to think you're ignorant and stupid. Okay. But that person, allowance has been made so that person, at any time when they see the enormity of reality compared to their little club, they usually, if they have a yearning for the things of reality, which is the upper dimensions of spirit, then they fall in line. They chuck the devil because the devil's a created being. Even if he's Lucifer, a fallen angel who rebelled, even that is a pedantic response to the Most High God. It's to create the Jobian nightmare that we are all part of. But the key to the Jobian nightmare is to see God as being the cause of all the good things and to not question or complain about the cards you've been dealt, and just keep contending for the faith, to stay consistent, to stay loyal. So the Jobian nightmare is really a test of loyalty, ultimately, to all people. And it's you see that the whole thing divide now. Washington is exactly what I thought it was when I was a child, and so is Hollywood. Of course, Hollywood was in my face, and it is. It's not just exactly; it's super exactly. And it's also extremely pedantic in the sense that it's very childish when people are like, "Oh, I can't have lunch with you because you're kind of on the other side. On the other side of that line. I can't be seen with you." Oh yeah. Well, here's the thing. By doing that and saying that, who do you think is listening to that? I can't be seen with you stuff. Who's listening to that? Who are you trying to impress? I can't be seen with you. Oh, why not? I'll get a drop in income. They'll cancel my my ride. Your ride, was it your ride? Did you worked hard for it and you deserve? or was it given for your obedience to basically death, limitation, stupidity, shortages, bludgeoning, totalitarianism? Need I go on? Need I repeat myself? So you learn about, there's not two ways, there's only one way. And there's a distraction. The Garden of Eden, the serpent will, man will crush the head of the serpent, and the serpent will bruise the heel of man. And what that describes is an intertwining of this issue. And so, because we did not intertwine ourselves, we must get unintertwined by somebody else. Again, the world's right about one thing. Nobody really makes it on their own, whatever way you go. And, a lot of the people that are walking around free. Now, I understand when you're a Nazi, which is what this whole thing is, actually. Technically speaking, historically speaking, Nazi. So when you're a Nazi, and I don't mean Trump supporters, I mean the age-old, back through Hitler, back to the Tool Society, back through, to the time of Pythagoras. The idea of using advanced technology to conquer the known universe and to do eugenics to the point of creating the perfect man. Okay, so here we have the intervention of God stepping in the debate, and then the dragon slain, which means they can scream and yell all they want, but that there has been an intervention. But it wasn't by Trump, it wasn't by man, it wasn't by me. I'm just a witness. But it fundamentally changed the direction of the of the world. And so their sorcery and their spells and their controls all went out the window at once. And whatever they're talking about now, they're just I'm not saying that Trump wins the election or anything, or that he's any kind of savior, but that there's a fundamental difference in that one side blocks the living God from people, and the other side does not. And that alone is a virtue that is worthy of note. And the people that go along with the world and live on TikTok and live on sound bites and and basically try to win the game, right? But get the first guy to get the Lambo or the whatever it is, the prizes, the toys, wins. And the answer to that is absolutely not. There is no winning in Satan. There is no winning in Satan. There is no, I mean, there may be a momentary illusion of someone winning, but that's usually replaced. Everyone I know that's really played the game and played it well, I mean, real deceivers, real generational witches and things like that, they've all lost too. They lose everything that they're vying for. They want the house, they want the car, they want the this, they want the that, and they wind up usually in poverty. Now, I don't know why that is. I think I mean, I understand the karmic consequences, and I understand the consequences that we're suffering now happens to be because we turn away from the source. And we say, then we become the gods, and then we fail. All right, then the world fails, politics fails, wars begin, and poverty ensues. Whenever you have that system, and I said it before, I'll say it again, I'll say it, even if I'm right every time, I'll keep saying it until somebody seems to echo it, and that is that wherever witchcraft is applied, which is really self-rule as opposed to being inspired by the Most High in terms of rule. Man cannot rule himself in his fallen state. But wherever witchcraft is, applied, and when I say witchcraft, the top people don't ever call it that. They would never call it witchcraft. They don't call it anything. But these are the kingmakers, the people that appoint the presidents and the kings and the try to divvy up the world into their own thing. Can I get another one of these?
You got it, buddy.
And so all I have to really say about that is that the karmic consequences of turning away from really the love of God, the power, the fear of the Lord, brings a consequence, because God is not mocked, as it says in Galatians. God is not mocked. What you sow, so shall you reap. That's universal. That goes for everybody. That is not what goes around comes around, as the street wisdom says. This is not something that you can just avoid. So I'm going to see if I can take a pause right here. I had to get some water. But, we want to strike while the iron's hot. So I've been thinking about this a lot, about, about Jesus saying the meek will inherit the earth and what that really means. It doesn't mean meek, weak people. In fact, it may mean much stronger, much more advanced spiritually people that can see and see things and reason things outside a limited reality, such as we're presented with. And people that can do that tend to fall on their knees and their faces before the Most High God, before the source, realizing at the end of the day, then they too are the source. Everything is the source in its ultimate configuration. And then, all the multiplicity and different aspects, there's a purpose behind all of them. And all that we see and all that we experience is really designed to bring us into that holy union that we already have anyway, to acknowledge that. And when we do that, then, when a chance to be evil comes up, we think about it. We pause, not what are the ramifications of what if my friends find out. It's that I feel I'm in the presence of the Almighty at all times. And it's just like, well, you can do it. You're going to do it right in front of the judge here, right in front of the Creator. Go ahead, screw the next guy, and please let that one go, Lord. No, I don't think that's really the way it happens. But anyway, through this period, I think we've seen a couple of miracles when it looked the most bleak. After COVID, we saw some miracles, and to shut it down. We have more fronts. They want to hit us with bird flu. They want to hit us with a bunch of other aspects of just basically trying to get the population down, trying to be the mass murderers that they're seeking to become. And I mean, Gates already has a lot of murders on his hands. He's got a lot of blood. And, I guess he's competing with Stalin and Pol Pot and everybody else, to see who can actually have the most deaths on their watch. And the problem with that is, who's going to reward them for that? Well, their guy is a liar and they're going to lose. So there's no one to reward them. Their reward will be death, probably an untimely death. Untimely meaning not prepared to go, not knowing reality, not knowing the source of who made you, not knowing what the purpose is, not knowing why you were born, not knowing the connection between generations, not knowing history, not knowing anything. But then the good Satanist will say, hey, You don't know anything. And then I'll say, what are you talking about? And he goes, oh, I don't know. Just thinking out loud. Yes, because you can never tell me what you know that you think I don't know, because you would get in trouble because you're not free and I am free. Therefore, there's a big difference between us. We are not equally yoked. We can't really be friends, but I'll tell you what, if you need anything, you let me know. I'll try to help you out. They say, I want a better relationship with God. Well, look at who God chooses. Look at Elijah, John the Baptist, Jeremiah, Zechariah, the minor, Micah. And all the rest. Most of these people, even Peter, became a prophet. And this is a guy, the fisherman, you'd think his five senses strictly and only. And then Peter actually raised a woman from the dead through his faith. Okay, that's quite a transformation. And when people see that, they go, well, I'd like to be more like Peter. Well, then suck it up, because the minute you make that decision for Jesus, Yahushua HaMashiach, God saves. And why does there need to be salvation? You might have noticed we're in a soul scalping machine, right? That they just take souls of anyone that was compliant, and they just recycle them. And then I think that's where a lot of reincarnation comes from, is they're trying to create slave forces that they rule over. And the only reason they do that is because they are just dumb narcissists. They don't really know anything, and they claim that no one else knows anything. They have the secret inner knowledge, but the inner knowledge they have is eclipsed, as I'll quote Pink Floyd, by the moon, on the Dark Side of the Moon record. So everything they know doesn't matter. They can't say it. They can't publish it. They can't say what they've seen. They can't publish it. They have their shills come out and say, Prince Charles is not evil, is not connected to Vlad the Impaler, and he doesn't abuse kids. Okay, I guess you've got to say that. All I can tell you is that the world transformed. They're afraid that we'll leave and they won't be able to come with us. They're afraid that we'll inherit a new heaven and a new earth, and they won't be there. They're afraid that we'll transform into eternal beings, and they won't be there either. Some of them are afraid that AI will just take them over, turn them into basically a little more than avatars, euthanize them all, and stick them in some kind of an endless movie where they can play out their fantasies forever, i.e. another form of hell. Anyway, once you see through it, you see through it. So I predict that this political thing that they were trying to do is not going to go as planned. And, the same thing with nuclear World War III and other things. They'll try really hard to get these things going, but I don't know that they're going to be successful. I do know that you praying causes things to change and fast. So I pray in Jesus' name as usual. As always, Lord, that you transform us, your remnant, and your world to that new heaven and new earth, that place of your tabernacle, Lord, where there's total connection, where the heathen, that is, those who reject the Most High God because of their own narcissism, ego, and refusal to respect something higher than themselves, them won't be there. They have decided where they're going. That being said, it's a long ways to rebuild the damage, to fix the damage that's been done. I don't want anyone to have false hope or anything, but at the same time, do not be discouraged. Do not let your heart be troubled, for the Lord has overcome the world. Therefore, you have overcome the world. So you're here on a rescue operation. This is not your world. This is not my world, not my home. I don't feel I need to hold on to this if I'm going to die at 73 years old or something, whatever it is. Then I don't really feel, if I'm going to die at any time along the timeline, then to me, that's not my home, because I'm eternal. So my home would be eternal like me. And if that's not the case, then we're in some kind of an illusory situation, which apparently is ruled by reptoid humanoids from various dimensions who have kept us in the dark ever since. But I think everyone knows, whether you're, a sojourner of religions. I mean, I did Hinduism, Buddhism. I didn't last long with the occult. I got kicked out of those groups because I felt their ideas fell short of the truth. But yeah, all that, many years with all that implies. And had I found truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, I would have stopped and said something. But I didn't. In fact, I didn't find truth through any teacher. But, God direct, who then shows me the sun and then shows me my life. And then Satan coming in and also posing around the yard I had at the time as a demon. You'd see them like they look like little aliens walking around in the background. That's true. I don't talk about that much, but that was to intimidate me. And what do they want to intimidate me from? Jesus, the name, the like, everything about Jesus. If I was willing to relinquish that, they would leave me alone. Heck, I could be a high priest in the the celestial friends of visitors, and escape to other dimensions and other realms on a grand adventure. But a lot of us, when we grow up, we realize we're on a grand adventure, and whatever the Lord would have for us is adventure enough. Thank you very much. Anyway, we're going to go to the video now. Just a short message. Look, the meek inherit it all, wherever they are. And by the meek, what do we mean? Well, let's go deeper on it. The meek are the chosen. 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 You mean some are chosen and some aren't? Isn't that hateful, Z? I'm not here to judge God's reality as being good or evil. I'm here to basically, I'm in awe of it. I'm in fear of it. I'm in reverence to it, and I follow it, and I don't ask the question, because Job didn't ask the question. And so if Job didn't ask the question, I don't answer the question, because it's got really, if God and the devil made a bet that they're going to torture Zeph, and the devil's saying Zeph will cave within the first 2 weeks. Okay, let's say, I know what you're thinking, but let's say they have that bet. Well, then that'll be laid on me. Now, does that have anything to do with me? No. I've been revered enough by the Most High to be put in that dangerous situation. I could be grateful and thankful that I was worthy to be chosen for that. But that's the same temptation as the temptation all over the world, which is this. And I'll just sum it up right now, and then we're going to go to the bed. I will give you all the kingdoms and all the institutions. I will give you all the religions. I will give you all the people of earth if you'll just bow down and worship me. You can have it all. It's a pretty kind of a wild thing that Satan says to Jesus. If you bow down to me, you can have it all. You be the king ruler of the world, and everyone would know it. Anyone even looked at you funny, they'd have their head cut off. Wouldn't that be nice? And just like every other answer, Jesus refused. And, it's only God do we serve. I mean, there is no point in, worshiping a created being. First of all, our worship does not acknowledge the reality of the situation. Therefore, all of your worship out there that you say, you don't know anything, we know everything. How about this? Know this then. Everything you do is false. Everything you do is based on a lie you tell yourself. Everything you do is you being deceived or deluded. Pretty much everything. Unless God uses you for something. Okay, isn't that all I need to know about you? Is there anything else you want me to know about you? My mother used to hit me with this all the time. You don't know anything. Yeah. We know about the orgies, the murders, the child abuse, and the rest of it. Is there anything else, Mommy, that you would like me to know, Mommy? And the answer is, she can't say. She can't say because she's not allowed to say, because she's not a free being. She's not free because she's a slave. So she had to keep her mouth shut. And I can speak freely as I ought to speak. But you all who are not the meek, who rule the earth, you cannot speak freely. You cannot do as you wish. And you're stuck. You remind me of the Elvis song, Stuck in a Trap. Can't walk out. Because I love you so much, baby. Remember that? That. Well, it's not just a codependent relationship that'll get you all screwed up. It's a codependent relationship with the world that will completely screw you up. Is there any more you would like me to know? Great job dunking baskets. Great job playing guitar. Great job whatever it is you do. Okay, fine. Nice performance for the king. But the king could care less about you. Anything else you would like us to know? Speak up now. The Barack Obama message. You didn't create that. You didn't do that. Somebody else helped you get that done. Well, that's on a very physical and tactile level that we need inner cooperation to get things done. Of course, we know that. See, what's puzzling you is the nature of God's game. And when I see fools like, what's his face, get up there and start screaming sympathy for the devil, and that might be, but he's a big rebel. As bandmates are now going one by one. And it's kind of sad to watch the end, but, a guy like that, you can't suddenly change sides at that point. And that's sad. there'll never be another, opportunity probably to do anything, because as you have these opportunities, you fulfill them. If you're recycled over and over, and one day you're a rock star, a baseball star, or this, that, you get over the stardom, then you start wondering if this is all there is. If creature comforts alone, somebody to squeeze, a nice coat on a cold day, roof over their head, all nice, all wonderful, got no problem. But when you say, in order to have any kind of decency or shelter, you have to submit, I would then point to the homeless population, which I've served in the past, and please ask them, find out how many of them are in Satan's game. You'll find that a good number of them are just like you, only they're doing a different thing. Just like the maids of Beverly Hills, all those Hispanic Santeria maids, from Mexico and Guatemala and wherever they're from, they end up running the families because they're coming from a higher form of spirit, higher form of witchcraft. They end up controlling the father, the mother, the hijos. And I've seen this over and over too. And they become, like almost like the matriarch. And it's one of the more bizarre things, but of course, that would never happen to the meek. The meek would not be subject to that because, well, they might be subject to it and then wake up and say, hey, I'm not a slave. I don't want to do evil in the sight of my father. I don't want to, hurt other people to get ahead and look for people to screw. So fuck no. And then once you get to that point, it's hard. It's easy to see a guy like Steve Bannon. And again, you could say whatever you're going to say about him. He looks like he drinks a lot or whatever, but he went to prison yesterday for standing up for America, and he had the longest sentence of a broadcaster, which is 4 months. And so he set up his last show of the 4 month of that period before he had to go into prison, and invited Merrick Garland to tune in. And so I said, what, big huevos there. Well, yeah, the people that are cowards, they follow the rules. And they hide behind, the rules as if they're virtue signaling, that they themselves are following the rules. And therefore, they're good people and better than you. And look at you just with your conspiracy theories and what theory is that? Name one theory that's a conspiracy theory that I've ever said. I could refute every single one I know what you're going to say. Anyway, I'm not here to have any more contests. Your Honor, I do believe we won this case anyway. So, yes, the God of the universe, the creator, is going to win this contest every time. Man will never be set free by Lucifer. Man will never be set free by fallen angels. Man will never be set free by aliens or advanced technology. Ever. And with that, I bid you goodbye, and I will see you. Blessings all around. Turn your attention to the Most High God and ask him what you should do with your day today. What would you like to see, Lord? Where would you like to go? Is there someone to talk to? Okay. And see how that changes things. I'll see you next time. So on to the video to finish. Greetings. Everyone happy to be alive? Everybody enjoying the ride so far? Well, good, because there's no going back to where we were, but where we're going is better than anything could ever be, even in our wildest imaginations. And so I look at this tribulation time as nothing strange, but expected, and just like I expect the blessing time to be huge as well. And remember this, always, throughout all history, they lose. They always do. But now is no exception. I mean, they lose. You know, you don't win. God doesn't win. But you know, with them, it's either win or lose. That's their paradigm. That's about as far as they can go. You know, slaves don't really get to you know, make the rules, since they've decided to do their own thing and live their own way and have their own councils, and unite under the rejection of God himself, the creator. They will continue to lose forever. I'm sorry. There's just nothing anyone can do about it. It's they say, yeah, but at least we have, you know, a nice life while we're here. Well, how long are you here for? 5 minutes? How long does a gnat live? Anyway, it's a good day. And I smell all the flowers. We had rain last night, beautiful rain. And so we're getting the hibiscus now. We're getting the trumpet vines with trumpet flowers. We're getting a lot of growth out of the shade tree. A lot of things happening. So I stick with what I said about the debate night and the paradigm shift, if you will, the movement of God in that particular instant, and the rippling effect it had in the Supreme Court and elsewhere. And I think this is something they didn't expect, because I guess they just think they can do whatever they want and harm whoever they want, and there's no consequences. But I'm like, if you understood the way things work around here, you'd be going, oh no, do I have to, maybe I should apologize to that one. Yeah, you know, did I really need to yell at that person? Did I need to yell at my wife? Did I need to be a child? Did I need to, you know, no, I abrogated my responsibility. I'm sorry. That shouldn't be so hard to do. God bless each and every one. I've got 2 audios. The second one down is the first one. The next one up is the second one. And I don't know what I did. There's like 2 different kinds of forms there. So go ahead and take a look and take a listen. And we continue down the greatest adventure that human beings have been allowed to take so far. Of course, this is just the beginning.
Nations conspire, and the kings plot in vain. The kings of the earth rise up, and the rulers band together against the Lord and against his anointed. The one in heaven, he laughs at them. The Lord scoffs at them, rebukes them in his anger, and terrifies them in his wrath. Oh yeah, oh yeah. inheritance. The ends of the earth, your possession, break them with a rod of iron. Dash them to pieces like pottery. Therefore, kings, be wise. Be warned, you rulers of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear. Celebrate his rule with trembling. The one in heaven, he laughs at them. The Lord scoffs at them. Rebukes them in his anger and terrifies them in his wrath. I have set my king on my holy mountain. Kiss his son or he will be angry, and your way will lead to your destruction. His wrath can flare up in a moment. Blessed are all who take refuge in him. Why do the nations conspire and the kings plot in vain? The kings of the earth rise up, and the rulers band together against the Lord and against his anointed. The one in heaven, he laughs at them. The Lord scoffs at them. Rebukes them in his anger